Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I will be teaching you guys how to make this beautiful rainbow colorful cut crease. So stay and watch if you want to see how I did it. Today I wanted to do a fun, colorful, creative look. I'm gonna explain everything step by step. I want to do a rainbow cut crease. I'm a bit late for Pride Month, but it's okay. Better late than never. So now that my base makeup is done, I will show you how to do the eyes. First, what you need to do with any eyeshadow, but especially colored eyeshadow, is wear an eye primer. So I personally use the Anastasia Beverly Hills one. Since it's very liquid, it's very wet, it really grasps the pigment of the shadow. So I will mostly focus it on the top of my eyes first because we're gonna do a cut crease. So I take a big fluffy brush and I just blend it like I would a shadow. So kind of tapping it and mostly focusing up on my lid. And then taking it on the temple as well and in the inner corner to make sure my shadows stick. For today's video, I will be doing BPERFECT Carnival XL Pro Palette X Stacey Marie, but any rainbow colorful palette will do. So before we do anything, the first thing you want to do with any eye makeup is trace your shape. So I'm going to take a small brush like this, so it's kind of flat, kind of fluffy. So my idea is to have a rainbow.
I'm gonna have one eye, yellow, green, blue, and the other one, yellow, red, pink, purple. No, no.
20 minutes later.
Like yellow, green, blue, red, pink, purple. First things first is place the colors. For this makeup, we're going to be using a lot of brushes because I don't want the colors to mix with each other. First shade is the yellow shade that I will be placing in the inner corner. Like so. Then I will take, we said green. Then we said blue. So what I like to do is I like to always have my lower lash line linked with my outer quarter. So that's why I always do kind of this, because then I want them to be linked like so. So this is just the basic shape for now. I will intensify those colors by dipping again and just kind of blending that color and expanding it to its area. So I'm going to have the cut crease going down there. So I'm not going to blend down. I'm going to blend towards outside because I want to lift my eyes. So I take my brush and as you can see, I am blending that into the brow, into my nose. And same thing for the green. So I stick with the same colors. I'm not going to do a gradient of greens and blues for now. I just want to blend the color that I placed. So I'm starting to blend that in the yellow a little bit. This is a long process because you're going to have to do a lot of blending. Going in the green and then taking the yellow brush again into the green, green again. You're going to have to do that until you have the gradient that you wish for. The blue again. So the blue is the outer corner. So first I did not add any blue on the brush. I'm just going to blend that into the outer corner. I really want a flashy look. Taking the green again, blending that green into the blue. Now I want to intensify the colors a little bit. So for instance, for yellow, I'm going to be taking this kind of orangey dark brown. And then I will just be blending a little bit of that where I will place my cut crease. So as you can see, my eye is already kind of drawing the crease. So I will just lightly intensify that. I just want to add dimension and volume. And then taking the yellow again and blending that. The trick to these makeups is just blend, blend, blend. Go back into the dark, in the light, and repeat the process. It's a long process. You go back in the yellow, back in the brown, back in the yellow, back in the brown, until you're satisfied with the blending. And taking your time is key. Same thing with the green, so I'm going to be taking a dark green. I always do these makeups with my eye open because as you can see, okay, it's very high and it's close to the brow. I want my makeup to be seen when I have my eyes open. So that's why I do most of the makeup and the blending with my eye open. Because if I do it on my real crease, which is here, well, when I open my eye, no one's gonna see anything. I've worked hard on these makeups. I want people to see them. So blending that darker green, taking the lighter green again, and blending that. And then same with the blue. I kind of follow the line that I did with the darker shades. So I go in the lower outer corner again, drag up the darker blue into the shape that I want, and then dragging that a bit onto the green to make sure it's all blended. Taking the lighter blue brush again and blending that. I'm going to take a big fluffy brush and I'm going to blend out these colors with lighter colors even more. So for yellow, I don't really have a lighter yellow, so I'm just going to take a shade that is close to my skin tone and just kind of blend the outer parts of the yellow. For green, I'm going to take a lighter green and just blend that a bit in the yellow, a bit in the blue, and in the brow. Same for blue. But the point of taking a big fluffy brush and making big movements is to blend it even more into the skin. And I feel like that last blending with the lighter color really makes the difference. We're going to go for the cut crease. So in order to cut the crease, you need your eye base. So what I do is I apply it on my hand. I take a flat brush that is rigid, but it's not supple, because I have one like this that is also good, but it's thicker and it's not as supple. And I feel like this is not as precise as this one, for instance. So I dip my brush like this, and I'd rather have not much, like on my brush, and then doing again and again, than taking a big splat and then making a mistake. So I take a little bit. It's easier for me because I drew the shape with the shadows that I already want. So I just have to follow that, but I want the line to be seen. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just going to apply it here. This is a trick. And then just open your eye big like this. And then you see where it lands. And so this is the part where you don't see it. So I'm going to go a little bit above that line. So I draw it a bit above. And now I'm just going to follow the shape that I drew. So you can do it with your eye open. Like this. And then you see what it looks like. And you take your time. You go gently. There is no rush. And then same for the outer corner. I take a little bit of base and I draw it with my eye open. And ta-da! Your line is done. I don't really like close cut creases, so I'm not going to cut my crease on the outside. I'm going to blend that in. So now that your line is drawn, hardest part is done. Now you just take what's left on your hand and you're just going to apply that all over your lid while staying in the shape. And so before applying anything else, I'm going to take my blue shadow brush and just blend that into this part, because I want a blended cut crease. For the shadow that I will put on this, I want something very reflective. I'm going to be using a highlighter, the GLAMLITE X Twighlight highlighter, because you cannot see with the artificial lights, but it is very reflective. And I will apply that with a flat brush like this. Take the highlighter and apply that while it's still wet. I like the cut crease to be very white. I think it looks very nice, but if you want to apply a matte color of a different shade before, you can. I just want the reflects. I will take a fluffy brush and I will just brush that across this line because I want the sparkles to be a bit blended. This is the only lower lash line I want because I want my eye to be open. I'll quickly do the shadows on the other eye and I'll be right back for liner and mascara. Okay, now that I did both eyes, first of all, what I like to do is apply Khol, black Khol. So I always apply it on the upper waterline because it makes my mascara pop out even more. For eyeliner, I personally don't wear eyeliner because I'm not a fan of it. I do my liner sometimes. I can do a video tutorial if you'd like, but I don't really like eyeliner, and since I already have very small lids, I like to keep them as bright as possible. Now for mascara, the trick is to use your brush, and if you have lashes like me that go down, I've tried lash curlers and everything, nothing sticks. So my trick to have your lashes lifted a little bit is to take your brush and kind of twist, going from the outside to the inside. Like I coat my lashes and I twist, going in like this. And then I always apply 2 coats. Okay, I will quickly put a little bit of bronzer, highlighter, do my lips. If you want to see how I'm applying my bronzer, blush, etc. or my base makeup, I did a video in the little eye here. And I explain how I do all of my base makeup. So that's it, guys. This is my tutorial on how to make a rainbow colorful cut crease, even for beginners. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please leave a like, comment, and subscribe. And I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.